Okay, and we have a light, and we're running. And oh, hang on, sorry. It's just so that we can see. Just like make sure we can see. And that's good stuff.
Are you here?
Yeah, I think we're there.
Okay.
Right. I could say good afternoon to you, Connie. Connie, we just had lunch with two French people, Victor and Isabel, who had this little dream about gender equality. They're concerned that typically something broken. They wanted to fix it. They thought about it for 10 years. Now, at long last, Cafe Femenino seems to have come to fruition. Now, here am I sitting as a consumer up in Europe, and I'm looking at this and I'm going, goodness me, another label. We've got organic, we've got Fairtrade certification, now we've got Cafe Femenino. What's special about Cafe Femenino that isn't already there?
The thing that's different about Cafe Femenino is it addresses the gender issue. Many things that are broken inside of third world countries that relate to poverty can be alleviated if the gender issue is addressed. So what we have done is we have given women who grow coffee anyway visibility and become business partners with them in this partnership.
Does this mean we're going to have to sort of pay more for the coffee? I mean, obviously Fairtrade certified coffee already has a premium. Do we therefore mean that we're now expecting to put their hand in their pocket even deeper for the consumer to for a Cafe Femenino?
Yes, the coffee costs a little bit more. You're going to pay your regular coffee price. On top of that, an organic premium. On top of that, a Fairtrade premium. And on top of that, 2 cents per pound goes directly to the women. But what that 2 cents does is give women in these very isolated rural communities in the Andes money in their pocket for the first time. The women in these areas don't have control of any money, and they never have. But by giving them a little bit of money, it gives them power, it gives them some decision making inside of their culture. And with that, we are seeing a paradigm shift on the way they're viewed inside of their community.
Now that's a very emotive word, paradigm shift. You know, we're talking about culture change. There's many a big organisation who's tried to do that and failed miserably. Culture change always means that someone loses and there are winners and losers. Who's the loser in all of this?
The loser, in my opinion, are the rates of domestic abuse that are falling and going away. The amount of girls who are going to school is going up. So the losers would be, there would be no losers in that. We see changes in how things are getting better with more income. So as far as losers, I don't see who the losers would be.
You're going to say win-win, aren't you?
It's a win-win, and I'm going to say that because even though you are spending a little bit more money for the coffee has to be of the utmost top quality. Otherwise, it wouldn't work in the marketplace. People aren't going to buy expensive coffee unless that coffee holds up in quality.
I have to agree with you because I think Fairtrade Foundation, when they started out, all those years ago, the biggest issue they had was quality. Everybody bought into the sustainability idea, but they suddenly found that actually it's great sustainability, but it tastes rubbish. And I have to say today, our little trip around the mill, which is behind in front of us here, has shown us the extent to which you go to really push through that sort of quality sort of button, as it were.
Absolutely. And one thing that we do find when we bring the samples in from Cafe Femenino, we will cook the women's Cafe Femenino, and
Yeah.
we will also...
That's live. Sorry. That's
all right.
okay. That's okay. Yeah, carry on.
Well, it's okay.
That's fine.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
We will bring in samples from the women's coffee that is separated and processed, and then we will have the family farm, which is the masculino or the mixed, the mom and the dad both working the farm. And what we'll find is that the women's coffee, the Cafe Femenino, comes out just a little bit better every single time. And I'm not just saying that.
I think you are. But
We'll see
when we go
today.
taste
We're going to go.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, it's still early days for me to be convinced that this is something which is really truly sustainable. And over the next couple of days, I'm going to be going out into the hinterland here and seeing what you're doing. And I'm really excited by all of that. I have to say, I've seen Fairtrade farms. I've seen some of the money that's gone back into in Brazil and what's happened there. I'm going to be really sort of challenging you really to say, well, actually, Cafe Femenino that step further on. In fact, probably my biggest challenge is why aren't Fairtrade moving into this gap in the market that you sort of see?
Fairtrade has been working in a very good direction for 20 some years, but they are the first ones to acknowledge the fact that they have gone a little light in the gender area, and they do realize that it's something that they need to bring farther up into the forefront. Not only Fairtrade, but USAID in a lot of their initiatives, they realize that gender needs to be put to the forefront before they can fix many of these, not fix, but address many of the problems that they're seeing. Gender needs to be addressed first so that these other things can take place. So as far as Fairtrade, it is one of their initiatives, but they have yet to push it out into the front. And I think that they are.
So
you see it.
I mean, you're leveraging Fairtrade. I think we talked earlier about the idea that they set up a structure for and so what you're basically saying is Fairtrade, well done as far as you've gone, kind of thing. Now we need to move on further forward.
And add this piece.
I mean, bear in mind that Fairtrade's been going since the sort of late 90s and has had a successful sort of noughties, and now maybe. I'm not sure if they lost their way a little. I'm not entirely sure, but I certainly think you're bringing a new issue to the table. Okay, this is the really big conundrum is, okay, you're doing this in coffee, we're talking about a culture shift. Is this something that's translatable across all commodities? Is it something that actually is a completely new way of looking at trying to equalize this unbelievable imbalance in wealth between North and South?
I think that it could be used in several different models. It depends on how the product is grown. What works for us is working with the small producers. What I've learned in the other commodities, such as tea, there's mostly large, extremely large estates. So you're not dealing with small producers in this way. You're dealing with employees who work on a coffee farm. So I think that there are things that we can do. We're not really sure how that model would look in other commodities, but I do believe that people care about it, and I think that people realize that when you get a balance in a community, you've got only 50% of the ideas and the plans happening. You bring in the other part, you have a much healthier community. That's what we see.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thanks. And it's going to be fun traveling with you.
I'm sure.
I will prove it.
Thank you.